Hello and welcome. So today I have this data set to deal with, and the task we want to achieve is to be able to bring up the usernames and the number of users to this table from this table. So in this table I have role names and the different transaction code related to that particular role. So this particular role now, this particular role has all these transaction code. That's this one has 3 rows. This one has 3 T codes. This one has this transaction code as T code, and this 3 has all these T code. So now I want to know the users that are using this transaction code. And the only way I can do that is to use the role name here. I have usernames here, and I have the rows that are assigned to them. So with these rows assigned to them, they can use all these transaction codes respectively. So I need to know the usernames that pertain to this particular T code. So there are 2 ways to do that. You can either use Power Query or you use Filter and TextJoin in Excel. For those who use Office 365, you can actually do that, get that done. So how do we get that done using Filter and TextJoin in Excel? And then we'll use Power Query as well for those who don't have Office 365. So how do we get the username? We can simply go ahead and type filter, the filter function. So the filter function requires 3 arguments, which are the array where you want your result to come from. Then there's also something called include argument. Include argument is sort of a boolean. That's boolean is something that gives you true or false. And what value should you return if it doesn't get any value? So array, which your results are. So the array for us now, we want to get the username. So we highlight username. We can simply lock it. Okay, it's a table, so it's already locked. We'll press comma, and then it's asking you what do you want to be included. So what I want to be included is where role names, these role names, which I've highlighted here, you can see them here, where the role names here is equal to this particular role here. So I select this one. So by the time I close bracket, if I press enter now, it's going to spill because it will return where the value is more than 1, it will spill. So for example, this particular one now, fin display, has about 3 users. So if I press enter, it's going to spill. So, but I want to return only a single value that are joined together. So let's just press enter and see what to get. You can see that there is a spill. And if you investigate the spill, if you highlight the formula, the function, and press F9, you will see the values here: 42337, 4279, 43112. If you press F9. So the only way we can get this together together in a single value is to use another function called TextJoin. So I undo, then I wrap this up in TextJoin. I open the bracket. So TextJoin asks me for, first of all, delimiter. So the delimiter I want is to put a comma, space, like this. The next one is asking me, what do you want to be done if there's empty value? So I want it to be done, so true, comma. Then what are the texts? So the texts are from this filter to the end. So I just come here and close the bracket and I press enter. So you can see here that the values are returned. So you can see the values are returned and they are very correct. You can see. So the number of users, how do I get number of users that are using this particular T code? I can simply do a count if. So it's a single condition, so I can use a count if. Count if is asking me where is the range. So I do this one, comma, criteria, I select this, I close bracket, and then I get all the users. So this one has 3 users, and so on and so forth. So this is how we get it done using filter function and TextJoin in Office 365 for those who have the latest version of Excel. So what happens if you don't have the latest version of Excel, which is Office 365? What do? You can simply use Power Query. So how do you do this using Power Query? You simply go to Data tab and send this. This is already a table. You can see it's a table. I'll give it a name, row T code, and then this is also user row and users. So I go to data, and then you select what you see from table arrange, here. Then you send it to Power Query. So this is already loaded in Power Query now. So I close and load to only connection, create connection for now. Then I send the second table to Power Query as well, the same process. Okay, so these two tables are now in Power Query. So I can check what is going on with my data. So Power Query loaded it to source, and then it did a change type. I'm okay, quite satisfied with it. Okay, it didn't change this one, so let's just change it to text. It's a text. All right. Okay, did it wrongly. Supposed to combine it to this particular step. So I come back. It's already changed. So I come back here. I come here, and I see my username not text. Usernames are usually text, so I change it to text. I change it to text so that everything will go fine. So what I need to do next is to get all the users that are connected to a particular row. So I need to do a grouping. I go to transform tab. I go to group by. I go to group by. So that will bring a dialog box like this. I click on advanced. So group by, I want to do a count of the rows. That's fine. And the second one, I want to return all the rows related to a particular role. So I choose all rows, click OK. And then so what I have is that I have row names on a single row, and then the count, and then the all rows. So if I click, make sure you don't click when it's turned to something of a hand, you click away, you see. So you can see here that we have all these users for this particular display. When you click here, you see that the users' names are already grouped. So what we simply want is not all this, we just want only the usernames. So what I can do is to come to the advanced editor, which is up here. I can edit the formula, the function. I mean, this group by function. I can edit it by coming to inspect it here and see. You see, when you inspect the function, you'll see that the function requires table, key, and aggregate column as a list. So what we want to do is to bring this down by pressing Shift Enter, just to see the function properly. So I click here, also I bring it down. So you can see that this is a list of a list. So there's a list ending here. Then inside it we have list as well. So this is a list. This is a list. It's another list. But of course, there are so many things here that we probably don't need, which we need to take off for now. So let me split this into another line. So for now, it did a count, which is this particular one here, and it did all rows, which is this particular one here. Count and all rows. So what we want to do now is to edit this one. This is the data type of this particular count. That's why it's an integer. So this one is return all the tables pertaining to the particular grouping. So what we do, first of all, let us delete all of this. We don't need them. They are just gibberish that came with the function. We don't need them for now. So what we need is just from here to here. And if we press enter, it will still work. The only thing is that it doesn't have any data type any longer. So what we want to do is to return from this table now. If you click this table, what we simply want to return is the username. So to return the username, what I would do is to put a bracket like this, an angle bracket like this, and type username. So this one means that I only want this particular column. So if I click enter, you see that now I have a list of only the users. So once you do this, you're getting a list. So this has given us a list now. So what we want to do next is to combine this list into a text. So we wrap it under that function called text.combine. And text.combine requires text as list and separator as this. So our text as a list is a list. So we come here, and then separator is comma space, and then we'll close the text combine function, you can see it's closed now, and then we'll click enter. And you can see that it has given us a list of all the users here. So we can then come here now and change this to username, users, and then we can change this to type text. We haven't done this. The next thing now is to return these two columns here to this T code, so that we can have the row name, the T code, and then the number of users, and then the users. So that's the next thing to do. So we'll come to this table, then go to merge query. We choose merge query in place. We're not creating a new table, so we'll create merge table in place. So this one requires us to choose two tables. So the first one is this table, which is the left table, and then we choose the second one, which is the row users, which is the right table. So it's asked, we need to choose a column, a matching column. So row names, row names. So row name, we'll look up row names here. So you can see that this selection matches 10 of 10, as you can see from the screen. So there is a complete match. And we are doing left outer join. So there's a list of joins here, but we are focusing on left outer join. So we want to return this count and the users. So we click OK. Let's see what we've got. So we can see that we have a table is returned. Tables are returned. So if we click on the table, we see that for this particular display, this is returned. For this particular one, this is returned, and so on and so forth. So we need to know the content. So how do we get that? We expand. We click on this J icon, which is here. So you expand, and when we expand, we deselect all. We only want the count and the users. I will click OK. So we return the values of we have the users and the count of users. So we can just change this to count of users, just to be explicit. And then this is now closed and load. So we close and load. We go to we want to now load this rows T code. So we right click, load to table, existing worksheet, and maybe we'll load it somewhere here, from H3, and click OK. And here we have our report. So if anything changes in the future, all we need to do is to right click and refresh, and then Power Query goes and do its magic. So this is how to go about it using Power Query. I hope you found this quite interesting. More videos of Power Query will be uploaded in the future, because Power Query is actually the way to go, because it's also linked to Power BI and all our intelligence tool, extraction, transformation, and loading tools. So thank you for staying tuned. See you next time. Thank you.